Now here's the news. First headline. Comrade Kim Jong-il sent messages to foreign party and state leaders in reply to their messages of condolences. Comrade Kim Jong-il received a message from the Central Committee of the South Korean National Democratic Front. Comrade Kim Jong-il received a letter from the 18th National Meeting of Japanese Teachers for the Study of the Future Idea. The spokesman of the South Korean National Democratic Front denounced the South Korean authorities for their suppression of patriotic people. Now the news in detail. The dear leader Comrade Kim Jong-il, chairman of the National Defense Commission of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea and Supreme Commander of the Korean People's Army, sent messages to Carlos Salinas de Gortari, President of the United States of Mexico, Godfrey Mianda, Vice President of the Republic of Zambia, Arsene Penesanye, Chairman of the People's Democratic Organization Labor Movement of Burkina Faso, and Salim Ahmed Salim, Secretary General of the Organization of African Unity, in reply to their messages of condolence on the occasion of the death of the great leader Comrade Kim Il-sung, General Secretary of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea and President of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. In its messages, the dear leader Comrade Kim Jong-il expressed deep thanks for their messages of deep condolences over the death of the great leader Comrade Kim Il-sung, General Secretary of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea and President of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. The dear leader Comrade Kim Jong-il received a letter dated August 25th from the Central Committee of the South Korean National Democratic Front, Hanmin-jeon, on the 25th anniversary of its founding. The letter says, "The founding of the Revolutionary Party for Reunification, the former self of Hanmin-jeon, was a historic declaration of the brilliant victory of future-based idea and theory of party building in South Korea, and a proud political event which set up a new milestone in the movement for social change under the banner of Future. Hanmin-jeon has covered a new path of its development by conducting party building and activity under the banner of great Kim Il-sungism, Kim Jong-ilism, and achieved tangible successes and progress in this cause. In the course of the movement for change, Hanmin-jeon has consolidated the backbone force with vanguard elements to have an unshakable future outlook on the revolution and on the leader, and strengthened it into a steel-like unit firmly ensuring uniformity of idea and leadership. It has grown to be a resilient, militant, and invincible vanguard organization which is deeply rooted among the masses of broad segments and has gained a wealth of experience in continuous struggles. The proud victory and achievements in the movement for change in South Korea have been possible because we have you, the great leader Comrade Kim Jong-il, a brilliant thinker and theoretician and savior of the nation's destiny. And the invincible banner of Kim Jong-ilism is sputtering in the van of our struggle. We will promote the modeling of Hanmin-jeon on Kim Il-sungism, Kim Jong-ilism, and consolidate the whole ranks as a Tzu-type vanguard unit of the masses, with the national honor of having you, sagacious Comrade Kim Jong-il, as the outstanding leader of the nation and the great man, peerless for all ages. Hanmin-jeon and the South Korean people will devotedly fight with a single heart to build a confederal unified state, independent, peaceful, and neutral, adhering to the three principles of national reunification: independence, peaceful reunification, and great national unity, and the 10-point program of the great unity of the whole nation, true to the behests of the great leader President Kim Il-sung. The latter sincerely wishes a long life in good health to the great leader Comrade Kim Jong-il, a genius of thought and leadership, an ever-victorious, unwielded, brilliant commander, a peerless great man, and the lodestar of national reunification. A letter to the dear leader Comrade Kim Jong-il was adopted at the 18th National Meeting of Japanese Teachers for the Study of Future Idea held in Niigata, Japan on August 21st. The letter noted that President Kim Il-sung devoted his whole life for the people and revolution, and stressed that exploits of the president will be engraved and shine forever in human history. The letter also noted that in order to realize the behest of President Kim Il-sung, they will always march forward with His Excellency Kim Jong-il, and points out that they believe as long as the respected His Excellency Kim Jong-il is with us, the vitality of the future idea will shine more brilliantly, and the independent cause is always victorious. The latter expressed their determination to actively accelerate the movement for the normalization of Japan-DPRK diplomatic relations and for earlier realization of the independence and peaceful reunification of Korea. The latter wished a long life in good health to His Excellency respected Kim Jong-il. General Secretary of the Central Committee of the National Liberation Front of Algeria, Abdel Hamid Mehuri, met DPRK ambassador to that country, Pak Ho-il, on August 13th. On the occasion, the DPRK ambassador conveyed the greetings of the dear leader Comrade Kim Jong-il to General Secretary Abdel Hamid Mehuri. The General Secretary expressed deep thanks and requested the Korean ambassador to convey his warm greetings to the dear leader Comrade Kim Jong-il. The General Secretary expressed deep condolences once again over the death of the great leader, His Excellency President Kim Il-sung, and stressed that he was a great man to perform the great exploits for the country and the people. He went on to say, "We believe that the Democratic People's Republic of Korea will remove all obstacles in the way of reunification and reunify the country. We will always support the struggle of the Korean people for the country's reunification. We will in the future too actively strive for the development of the friendly and cooperative relations with the Workers' Party of Korea and always remain friends of the Korean comrades." Isunu Bahadur Narandar, General Secretary of the Nepal Communist Party, Amartya, met Ambassador of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea to that country, Lim Hae-sung, on the 16th. The General Secretary said, "Due to the death of the great leader Comrade Kim Il-sung, an unerasable great sorrow will remain in the hearts of not only the Korean people but also the world communist and progressive people. The immortal achievements of Comrade Kim Il-sung and his many immortal classical works inspire the international communist movement and will play a big role in the development of the movement forever in the future too. The Korean people, under the leadership of the dear leader Comrade Kim Jong-il, continue to invariably advance the cause of socialism and communism pioneered by Comrade Kim Il-sung. The feature of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, which advances under the leadership of the dear leader Comrade Kim Jong-il, is the source of strength for our communists. We sincerely wish the dear leader Comrade Kim Jong-il a long life in good health." According to the radio Voice of National Salvation in Seoul, the spokesman of the South Korean National Democratic Front issued a statement on the 19th denouncing the fascist Kim Il-sung group for their fascist security-oriented rule. It surpasses by far the security-oriented rule of the Sixth Republic, and for their wholesale scout-to-earth operations against the patriotic democratic forces for reunification throughout South Korea. The statement said that the anti-communist fascist offensives of traitor Kim Il-sung and his group began with inhuman and anti-ethical acts of mercilessly suppressing the expression of condolences and the dispatch of mourning mission of the students and people from all walks of life, by abusing the unexpected misfortune of the fellow countrymen politically, and culminated in the suppression of the Pan-National Rally on August 15. The statement trenchantly denounced the dictator Kim Il-sung for his fascist suppression through a new security-oriented administration, saying that the end of the dictatorship of Kim Il-sung, which is branded as the rubbish of the times and human scum, has already been decided. The statement points out as follows: under the pretext of defending the system, dictator Kim Il-sung is suppressing the people at the point of the fascist bayonet, and their anti-communist fascist acts will accelerate their own ruin. The South Korean National Democratic Front, together with the people from all walks of life, will overthrow the hateful Kim Il-sung fascist regime establish an independent and democratic new government, and accomplish the cause of reunification in the 90s in firm unity with all the fellow countrymen. Military sources said the South Korean puppets, in collusion with the U.S. imperialists, escalated the multi-focused land war exercise on the 23rd and the 24th, thus further aggravating the situation of the Korean Peninsula. On the 24th, more than 20 Japan-based pursuit assault planes and vertical takeoff and landing assault planes flew into the sky of South Korea and staged an air war and saturation bombing exercise together with more than 310 fighters belonging to the U.S. 7th Air Force and the South Korean Puppet Air Force. Earlier, on the 23rd, more than 30 South Korean combat vessels conducted a ship and submarine striking exercise on the West Sea, and the motorized infantry unit staged a North invading offensive operation exercise in support of fighter planes in an area adjacent to the military demarcation line. On the same day, the South Korean Army Heavy Tank Group and 105mm artillery group fired 300 odd shells at an area adjacent to the demilitarized zone. The Daily Rodamson on the 26th carried the news that Pakistan recently celebrated the 47th anniversary of their independence, and that a protest demonstration demanding post-war compensation took place in the Philippines during the visit of the Japanese Prime Minister. And that's the end of the news, read by Children Num. This is Radio Pyongyang. An account on the title, regarding to believe in the people as in heaven, was his maxim. People of Korea and the world are perusing the reminiscences of the great leader Kim Il-sung with a century, with deep emotions. The reminiscences reached the hearts of their readers because his lifelong mission was so great and noble. The great leader Kim Il-sung wrote as follows in his reminiscences. To believe in the people as in heaven has been my constant view and motto. The principle of future, which calls for drawing on the strength of the masses who are the masters of the revolution and construction, is my political creed. This has been the axiom that has led me to devote my whole life to the people. Kim Il-sung was a peerless great man. Regarding it as his motto to believe in the people as in heaven for the first time in history, he was always with the people and devoted his most sacred life for the people. His immortal future idea, which as approved was the greatest progressive idea and theory of humanity, and as the great revolutionary theory of the era of independence, is a great truth produced by the idea of believing in the people as in heaven. Clarifying how he could create the future idea, Kim Il-sung said, I deeply thought about the destiny of people when I was young. Why are there the rich, the poor, and the poor? And why are there those who live miserably in oppression and maltreatment all through their life? Can't we let them all live well? This was my question. His teachings show that he created a profound future idea in the course of thinking, pursuits, and devoted practical activities for the destiny and happiness of the people. Kim Il-sung clarified the profound truth of the future idea with the maxim of believing in the people as in heaven, which regards the people as the most precious beings, and formulates the idea, theory, and method of great future idea. This is the great future idea of Kim Il-sung. Comrade Kim Il-sung is Arn-Will's brilliant commander who defeated two formidable imperialisms in one generation, and fearless great man who successfully carried out the socialist revolution and the cause of industrialization of the country in a short period, and built a powerful socialist country which is politically independent, economically self-supporting, and self-reliant in defense. Comrade Kim Il-sung is a genius of creation and construction who led a revolution to victory under any circumstances, turned misfortune into bliss, adversity into prosperity, made what was impossible possible, and brought about great miracles. His great leadership and immortal exploits are unthinkable apart from his idea of believing in the people as in heaven. We look back upon the 1950s, when the first five-year plan was set to bring about a great upswing in socialist construction and carried out. The internal and external situation at the time was very serious and complicated. Though the war ruins were removed, materials and funds were in short supply, and the people's life was still hard. The U.S. imperialists and the South Korean puppets were clamoring about northward march, and foreign pressure was tightened upon us. On whom the great leader would rely and believe at the critical time of whether we should advance our revolution or stumble and fall, never to rise up again. They were the Korean people. Comrade Kim Il-sung visited then Kansai Iron Works, where he explained the entertaining situation and the difficult conditions of the country to the workers, and inspired them, saying, "The party believes in you. Let's make a great revolutionary upsurge." In support of the call of the great leader, the Kansai workers create the miracle of producing 120,000 tons of rolled steel from the booming mill with a rated capacity of 60,000 tons. A great Tsulima upsurge took place, and the huge five-year plan was carried out only in 2 years and a half. We think of the great leader's lifelong maxim to believe in the people as in heaven, seeing the correctness and inexhaustible vitality of all lines and policies of the Workers' Party of Korea, and the revolutionary principle of activities and the popular work method of the Workers' Party of Korea. Comrade Kim Il-sung saying that we should go everywhere the people live, visited the factories, and pushed his car ahead on a muddy road to visit a lonely village on the northern border of the country. He noted that what people say good is good, and reflects the aspirations and demands of the people in working out lines and policies, and in drawing up a plan. With a noble idea of believing in the people as in heaven, Comrade Kim Il-sung relied on the people and devoted everything to the people, and brought about the brilliant victory step by step, without any political mistake and deviation in lines, in leading the Korean Revolution for 70 years. His immortal exploits for the fatherland and the people, for the times and history, are the exploits produced from his maxim of believing in the people as in heaven. Today, our people are vigorously advancing for the completion of the revolutionary cause of future, holding the dear leader Comrade Kim Il-sung in high esteem as the great leader of our party and state, who possesses at his disposition the idea of believing in the people as in heaven of the great leader Comrade Kim Il-sung, and leads the revolution and construction to victory. You've been listening to an account under title, Regarding to Believe in the People as in Heaven, was his maxim. This is Radio Pyongyang. Now you hear a chorus. People sing of the leader. Regular program, Our Fatherland, a land of natural beauty. time, we'll tell you about Nature Reservation Area in Mount Oga. Dear listeners, there is a virgin forest in Mount Oga in the north of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. In March 1959, a nature reservation area was set up in the virgin forest. It rains heavily in this area, which is affected by a continental climate. There are many natural monuments in this vast virgin forest. Among them are 1,100-year-old yew tree, 700-year-old Mongolian oak, and 500-year-old pine nut and linden trees. The linden tree is attractive. Its circumference at the base is as large as the stretched arms of 4 or 5 men. Plants of hundreds of kinds are growing in the nature reservation area in Mount Oga. It also abounds in animals, which account for over 60% of the total kinds of Korean animals. In Mount Oga, there are mandarin ducks, a special kind of East Asia, which add beauty to the virgin forest. The habitat of mandarin ducks is a precious natural product. Thanks to the correct nature conservation policy of the Workers' Party of Korea and the government of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, rare plants and beneficial animals are well protected and propagated in this nature reservation area. In the nature reservation area in Mount Oga, there is 1,000-odd meter long pass. It tells a significant story. The great leader Comrade Kim Il-sung crossed this pass during his 1,000-year-long journey for learning. He started at Dadao, China, at the age of 11 in March 1923 to know about Korea well. Comrade Kim Il-sung recrossed this pass during his 1,000-year-long journey for national liberation at the age of 13 in January 1925 with a great will to liberate the country. In the nature reservation area in Mount Oga, there are many slogans written on trees by the Korean People's Revolutionary Army men during the anti-Japanese revolutionary struggle. Still vivid there are the slogans reading, "The bright star of Taekdu is the lodestar of Korean independence, lodestar of liberated Korea," and other slogans written on trees by the Korean People's Revolutionary Army men praising the great leader Comrade Kim Jong-il, who was born in Mount Taekdu as the bright star of Taekdu. The slogan trees attract many people and school children making a 1,000-year-long journey for learning and 1,000-year-long journey for national liberation. Before the slogan trees, they resolved themselves to hold the great leader Comrade Kim Jong-il in high esteem and firmly defend and develop socialism under his leadership. You've been listening to an account under the title, Nature Reservation Area in Mount Oga, from our regular program, Our Fatherland, a Land of Natural Beauty. This is Radio Pyongyang. Now you'll hear female solo and Pang-Chang, I Think Looking at You, sung by noted artist Ri Jeong-suk of the Potsdam Electronic Ensemble.
Now we tell you about the South Korean authorities' anti-communist fascist movement. Now, South Korea is placed under a new security-oriented rule exceeding the security-oriented rule of the Sixth Republic. The new security-oriented rule started when a special alert order and emergency order A were issued to the private army and police, and an emergency duty system was set up for the government officials by politically abusing the unexpected misfortune of the fellow countrymen. Now it is going to an unprecedentedly dangerous and grave phase. Branding as inside enemies those who demanded the expression of mourning, adherence to the Dutch idea, and other pro-reunification and democratic forces, the civilian fascist dictators are loudly crying for strict punishment of them to defend the liberal democratic system. In accordance with it, all suppression forces of South Korea have been mobilized to destroy the forces of independence, democracy, and reunification. The notorious Security Planning Board has invented a fabulous anti-communist drama and is hell-bent on suppression. It has left right-wing gangsters, government-patronized organizations, reactionary university presidents, and other anti-communists frantically blow an anti-communist trumpet against the pro-unification and democratic forces and other activist forces. Owing to the vicious anti-communist fascist movements, in South Korea, hot-blooded young men are rocked off and detained almost every day on charge of studying the progressive idea, and the patriotic pro-unification democratic forces, including the Federation of General Student Councils, are taken to police and detained on charge of the struggle for independence, democracy, and reunification. Suppression is imposed upon the workers who advocated their rights to existence, the peasants who opposed the parliamentary ratification of the Eurogate Round Accord, and all others who were not obedient to the authorities. In particular, the brutal suppression of the Pyongyang group before the fifth Pan National Rally in Seoul is evoking a soaring indignation among the entire fellow countrymen. The fascist clique mobilized lots of police, tear gas canister firing vehicles every day, and even let helicopters spray tear liquid. In order to suppress the Pan National Rally, they unhesitatingly perpetrated such a nefarious act of wiping off over 2,400 people. A foreign dispatch pointed out that South Korea has been committing brutal atrocities for about a month in such a manner as cannot be considered legal in a democratic society. By unfolding the truculent new security-oriented rule, the Pyongyang group are driving the whole society of South Korea into an appalling, terror-stricken atmosphere. It is a spasm of desperate efforts of those who are forsaken by the people for their treacherous act and burned to destruction. The South Korean people from all walks of life demand that the Pyongyang group be cast off the list of the nation as soon as possible, because they are an immoral group, ignorant of elementary human ethics and traditional manners and customs, and a group of gangsters who are abusing the misfortune of the fellow countrymen for the security of their power. The days of the civilian government of the Pyongyang group are numbered. Keeping their own snare, the Pyongyang group are trying to find a way out in the anti-communist fascist movement. Criminals should be punished. The Kim Il-sung group under the civilian court have committed crimes against the nation, democracy, and reunification. However hard they may try, they cannot save themselves from decline. The civilian fascist clique are running headlong to destruction. We've just told you about the South Korean authorities' anti-communist fascist movement. This is Radio Pyongyang. Dear listeners, here's what you'll hear in our transmission this time tomorrow. First news. Next musical content titled A Life for the People. And then questions and answers under the title The Section Doctor System in Korea. Lastly, repercussions entitled A Radical Progress in the Normalization of the DPRK-USA Relations. And between the items, you'll enjoy songs of the Portland Electronic Ensemble.
Dear listeners, Radio Pyongyang presents its 50-minute English language service 5 times every day for...
This is Radio Pyongyang.